Hi. Just had to touch the Kurtussi. My name is Claire.
I like to ground myself with the Kurtussi before I have a successful episode.
It's my goop ritual.
I'm Molly.
Did I already say my name?
Yeah.
And I'm Claire. And this is Book Stupid. Okay, yeah, we're here today. It's Memorial Day.
Are you on uppers right now?
I have had 3 drinks. Just to be transparent.
And that's not counting your OS.
Yeah, it's not even counting my little OS here.
Your
My orange soda. Yeah, which I like to call my OS. My OS update.
But how were you to say no? You had
Yeah.
a spritz, reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gorgeous summer day in New York. Tip of the season. Tippity top of the season.
Yeah.
Then you had a beer. Very natural follow-up.
Yeah.
And then, dare I say, hot bartender asks if you want to do a shot as you're leaving.
Yeah, and then I had a shot with him. And I'm actually I'm pretty sober, to be honest. It takes a lot for me to, kinda, I don't know.
Hey, we're not these flimsy little waifs you read about in romance books.
No, not even a little. I'm not baby Groot. I'm like middle-aged Groot.
I don't know, whatever Groot's ancestral tree mother is. I'm a redwood.
Yeah, you are a redwood, actually.
Thank you. Yeah. I hair color, height, the whole thing.
Yes, and wisdom.
Thank you. I think of you as a willow.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Weeping or otherwise?
Very happy. Weeping tears of joy.
Okay.
Just this week I got, your dog looks like the dog in Pocahontas.
Dog in Pocahontas.
It's a pug.
Oh, I'm seeing it now.
I was a little bit but then that reminded me of the animated Weeping Willow and that.
Yes, but wait a minute. I can't believe there's a pug in Pocahontas because... No offense, pug. We have strayed so far from nature with pug.
Oh, totally. But don't you think I think the pug and my dog too, an English bulldog, are perfect encapsulations of colonial conceit.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's these colonizers are sick fucks and they've gone too far.
Yeah, but I think it's an anachronism.
Now explain that word.
I think it's not historically accurate that there would be a pug in that timeline.
Really?
Yeah,
when do you think we did this?
I think we
freaky
made
science?
in the
2000s.
It feels like something we did in the 70s. We made pugs in the 70s.
You're right. I think that there were pugs in the 50s because at the same time people were eating ham in Jell-O. You know there's a pug under the table.
Yeah, but I just don't think that in the 18th century, or 17th century, there were pugs.
How do you... Okay, Anna... Wait, also, great drag name. Anachronism.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were going Chromatica with it. I was okay.
So Pocahontas happens in the 7... Yeah,
I think so. It's in the...
It's before
1600s
the
or 1700s.
United States.
Correct. As we know it.
Thank you, Claire.
Before it was colonized.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're in the studio today without Jupes because she is home for Memorial Day today to participate in a time-honored tradition known as the Devon Horse Show.
Explain that.
Which
is awesome.
Yeah, it's so Jupes and I are from the same neck of the woods, and there's an annual horse show, which is just when you trot your horses around. It's a horse competition.
No racing though.
No what?
It's
no
not race.
No, but there's trotting, jumping.
Oh.
It's closer to dressage than horse racing.
So you grew up rich?
There's no way to talk about this and not
come off like the fancy little prince.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's every Memorial Day weekend it happens, and it's there's a big country fair alongside
Yeah.
The horses.
But, like, my state fair...
Oh, it's nothing like that.
No.
I'm sorry. I've never been to your state fair.
But you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever you listeners have in your head for country fair, think much more elevated.
Maybe more like a county fair. I don't know.
I don't know. It sounds bougie.
It's a little bougie. There's like nice little shop. It's like not that big either. I feel like country fairs are very large. Like it's like a big...
I guess I don't know the distinctions you're drawing between state, country, and county fairs.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not making... I don't know the difference.
I don't think... Yeah, I think of it as all... We're just using different words for the same thing.
Okay, it's just a fair,
It's just a
I'll just
fair.
say. But it's small. It's a small affair.
It's a small affair.
There's like a Ferris wheel. There's like...
Oh, cute.
bumper cars, but it's not... I don't even know if there's bumper cars. But what I'm trying to say, there's like a couple rides.
I'm not going to see, like, the biggest bunny I've ever seen.
No. There's no, like... Yeah, there's none of that. No, like, bunny
No prize
racing
hog.
or...
No,
yeah,
like, this is a really big pumpkin.
No. It's like, there's the horse stuff, and then, like, funnel cake.
Like, artisanal wares.
Yeah, and artisanal wares. And, like, it's, like, where you, in 8th grade, go on, like...
Flirt.
I've heard.
Maybe even have a kiss.
Yeah, you might go there to have a kiss. Yeah.
That's so romantic.
I suppose. And people wearing, you know, like, the big, like, the outfits.
Hats?
The hats, yeah.
See, now this is elevated.
Yeah. That's where, like, you know, people will, like, buy a box.
You can buy a box?
Yeah. I had a friend in high school who had a box, and I would sometimes get invited to that. Not Julia, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it like a box at a stadium game where, like, you get your own private bar and food?
It's quite literally just, like, a section.
Observe
Yeah.
the
It's just like you have a section of the seating.
Where you can sit and quietly ooh and ah
Exactly.
at the horses.
You know, wear a nice outfit.
Wear your finest cardigan and pearls.
Right.
As Siege used to dress that way.
I did, kind of. And yeah, but her mom is a big part of that. So she likes to go, she goes home every year for that. So it's just us in the studio today. So I don't know if any of this is even getting captured. We'll see. We'll find out.
Really need Jupes.
We really need her.
Yeah. But before she skipped town, we had a night out on it.
Yes, we did.
On Friday.
We did.
The three of us, me, Siege, and Jupes, went to dinner. Mm-hmm. As we're wont to do.
It happens, yeah.
In this case, it was a delicious Italian, was it not?
It was. I would categorize it that way.
Always is. I thought my pasta was so good.
Oh, really?
Did you not like yours? We both got...
Yeah.
The old standard for us is spaghetti al vongole.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
I thought mine... Okay, so first of all, the portion sizes were like...
Oh.
It was like a sneeze.
For the birds.
I was like, come on.
We're growing girls. We can have 3 drinks and not feel it.
It was so small that when he brought the plate over, I had to stop myself. I was like, okay. But no, I thought it was good. I thought it was creamier than I...
Really creamy.
It was a cream-based sauce.
And salty.
Yeah.
But I liked how salty it was.
Okay, I didn't mind the saltiness. I didn't love the creaminess.
Really creamy. Also, like, pretty fussy.
It was fussy.
Caviar?
There's a caviar butter situation, I think.
A lobster butter, a caviar sprinkle.
Okay, all right.
I was like, for what? But I actually like the cream.
All right.
Turns out
I'm like cream and fish don't belong together.
I'm like, give me like a hybrid mozzarella fish stick. Give me that.
Yum.
Oh,
totally. If you get that at the country fair.
Yeah. I don't belong at the horse show. You could get that at the Wisconsin State Fair. I'm telling you right now.
I thought the drinks were really good though. We had these like cherry-based Prosecco drinks that were very strong, and then we had an espresso martini to top it all off.
I forgot about that.
I know, I forgot to until the next day, because I was like, why was I so... Spoiler alert. I was a little bit, you know, I was having fun.
You were having fun.
And I was like, why was I having so much fun? And then I was like, I think think the espresso martini kind of pushed me over the edge a little bit.
Yeah, that in retrospect wasn't necessary.
No, God no.
But I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
And actually did serve a purpose. We needed that buzz
We did.
from the caffeine.
Yeah.
Because after dinner, these 3 cats.
So Molly was kind of like, so we went to what would you call it, a singles bar?
I don't think anything's called a singles bar anymore.
It's just a bar where I will say it's like, there's just like a flirty energy.
Yeah, it's definitely like you go there to kind of mix it up with groups that you didn't come with.
But it's also young.
It's young.
It's young.
It's young enough that you kind of have to be like, well, are you older than 25?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean it's not good for flirting.
No, it was a good time.
And it does run the gamut. There are
definitely people our age, but I would say we probably are like the outward. We're probably like the oldest people there.
Yeah.
Which is cool and fine.
It's cool and fine, yeah. And we knew they'd be playing the Knicks game. I mean, most bars were, but they had big TVs. They have a projector in the back. So it was like, I needed to watch the second half of the Knicks game. So we said, okay, onward.
Yeah. And I think Molly, we've talked about this, I think, 2 episodes ago. Molly's been trying to, like, hit the pavement on her assignment, which is to, like,
aggressively intervene in Sietch's love life.
Yes. So we kind of had that energy going in, but it kind of just we were watching the Knicks game, and Molly was into it. We were kind of getting into it. It got a little exciting there for a minute.
It was game 2 of this series against the Pacers, which was a devastating game. It wasn't as close as game 1, but we did allow ourselves to feel hope. Yeah. As a collective bar crowd,
there's energy happening.
Yeah, and I can't hide my light under a bushel. I gotta cheer for my New York Knicks. Yeah. So. I was doing a little, maybe hooting and hollering, and there was a group of young men behind us. Not too young.
Not too young, no, appropriately young.
Appropriately young, because we ourselves are young.
Yeah. And
they were like watching the game too. They were like clearly kind of like giving us a little bit of a whenever I'd scream. But at one point they were talking about cigarettes, and I turned around and went, and literally they all went, she likes cigarettes. Because I turned around like a dog.
And you tipped her ass.
I did a little jig and snapped my suspenders. I said she loves cigarettes.
Okay, this is putting something that I have to say to relief, because... So, then what happened?
Well, so we turn our attention back to the game. I have a number 1 priority, and it's watching the New York Knickerbockers. Yeah. They lose. I'm upset. Now I turn around and go, okay, where are the cigarettes?
Oh, okay, yeah, see, this is all...
Yeah, so, but
I just had a lot of fun, which is why I can't remember, so...
So we then start talking to this group of men.
Yeah.
And... everyone seems to pair off with like a natural kind of...
Yeah, I think I want to be careful of saying that mine was a natural pairing.
It was highly unnatural.
No, it was naturally that's what happened, and I was vibing. Like, I actually was... Like, I feel like oftentimes, like, I'm in situations like that, and I'm like, oh, I, like, hate what's happening.
I got stuck with this fucking...
yeah. Or not even that, like, as if I didn't... If I wasn't interested, I would have, like, moved on.
Yeah, totally.
But I was, like, interested enough that I was, like, actively, like, engaging.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Don't be like,
no. No. I thought he was sweet and nice. So also for context, I thought I was smothering a grenade by talking to the person, because if you're the matchmaker, you end up having to either court one of their weird friends, or you twiddle your thumbs if it's an odd number, if the matchup doesn't work. In this case, there was a stray that needed smothering, and I thought, okay, hey, this adult blonde is like not going to be...
He was not blonde.
He was so blonde. And he was like from Florida.
Oh, was he? See, I didn't engage with him at all.
His whole vibe was very, like, the first thing he said when we bridged the groups was, like, did you play basketball? I was like, yeah, no, I get it, I'm tall. And he goes, well, no, it's just a lot about basketball for a girl. And I thought, okay, well, none of my friends
actually that wouldn't have worked.
are talking to this man.
Yeah.
I will just berate him for the next hour while they talk to
Let me just say he
actual candidates.
completely fell in love with Molly. He was like, which is something we have to talk about. Like, Molly's the Rizzler.
I am Hugh Jackman.
She just has so much riz that sometimes it is like.
I couldn't have been meaner to him.
I know, but that's part of your riz.
Sure.
She left
so early. I say married. He goes, no.
Yeah. Well, literally after you left, he said, "Is she really married?" And I was like, "Yeah, my guy. I'm sorry."
Like, duh, bro.
Yeah.
Who the fuck lies about being married?
Well, I'm so glad you said that because so I was talking to who I'll just call Jack Antonoff.
Yeah, appropriate.
We quickly fell into like a deep convo, I feel like, about like whatever, but also something that should have like, I don't know, I'm saying this should have tipped me off, but not really. I was like, we started talking about how like I'm from Philly and he's like did time in Philly. Not in prison,
right.
You know. I think law school he did there, or undergrad, and he was like, I was like, I don't know how it came up, but I was like, I'm a big Phillies fan. He was like, me too. And I asked him who his favorite.
Really?
Yeah. And I asked, that's probably why I spent, I was calling it 3 hours, but I think it was closer to 45 minutes. I was talking to him. I was like, oh, who's your favorite player? And he was like, oh, they're doing so well now. But you know who's having a really good season is Real Muto. And I went, Real Muto? He's kind of having the worst season on the roster, but okay. And that should have given me more pause than it did.
What? You lied about being a Phillies fan?
Oh, a little, yeah. I think he exaggerated, because you're not saying Real Muta's having the best season.
Wow.
It's crazy.
But to me, that doesn't align with, well, you've not shared the most.
So, yeah, I spent 3 hours or 45 minutes talking to him, and we're, like, really hitting it off. He's being, like, a little too flirty, but I'm kind of, like, into it, whatever.
Yeah.
I shared earlier that night that I don't like it when people flirt with me too much, because I'm like,
right.
Ew.
What's your game?
Yeah, what are you playing at here?
Meanwhile, they're like, I just really like you.
He did something, I'm curious what you think about this. We were, like, talking, and I was talking, and he poked me on the cheek. Like, gotcha. Kind of.
Shut up.
Like, poking your little cheek.
You're married. You can't be poking.
Okay. Spoiler. He's married.
Sorry.
Because, so I say this to show that, like, we were flirting.
Yeah.
And
you were flirting. I kept checking in on my little guy.
Yeah, because you were like...
Because I'm, like, so sick of talking to this Floridian, like, misogynist. This fucking blonde. Apparently wasn't blonde, I don't know. But, no, it was flirty, the vibes, with the body language.
Okay, and some people will say, Claire, he was wearing a ring. He was wearing 2 rings. You see my confusion. On separate hands. And I think that Jupe said that one of them was, that the one on the married hand was on his middle finger.
Oh.
So I thought the rings were like
Do you think he moved it while he was talking to you?
No. I don't think, no. I think it was like I think that's a style choice and like
that's
a
not
purposeful style choice. So yeah, anyway, he went to get a drink, and I think Floridian Blonde or the other one was like, you know he's married, right? And I was like, actually, literally, no, I don't. How would I know that?
How would I know that?
He just poked me in the face.
You know it was, yeah. That is like something I'd write into the book. Like,
it didn't do anything for me, but yeah.
Well, was it like a got your nose, or was it like a...
It was like a look at your little dimple kind of thing.
That is so forward and...
Yeah, it definitely was like, I was like,
romantic in nature.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, there was no, like, confusion on my part.
Whenever I did a vibe check, look to my left, vibes over there. Good job, Jupes. Look to my right, vibes over there. Good job, Siege.
Yeah.
I think that man is a scoundrel.
I think so too. So then he came back from the bar, and he was like, do you want to go have a cigarette? Which now is putting it, because I was like, why does he want me to have a cigarette? I was like having enough fun where I was having short-term memory loss, and I kept asking them how they met, and Juice kept going, Claire, you just asked them how they met.
I love it when you do that.
It's so bad.
You always hang on like a great question. But
It's always like I'm trying to get at, like, why are you friends? You know, like, I want to hear their story, but it's just like, oh, rinse and repeat.
They're like, we did.
They were being nice about it. They're like, yep, we're lawyers. But yeah, he was like, do you want to have a cigarette? And I was like, no.
I've never had one.
Yeah, I don't do that. And he literally was like, really?
You don't know me, sir. No, so you were giving him a little bit of cold shoulder since he was married.
Yeah, and yeah, good on me.
He certainly wasn't pumping the brakes.
Yeah.
What the hell? And I had left at this point, so this is new information to me.
Yeah, and then when they left before us, and I said, "You're married," and he said,
"Oh wait, his friends had left too."
No. So they were leaving, and before they left, I was like, "By the way, I know you're married."
They told me your little secret,
and he was like, "Yeah." Do you feel like are your feelings hurt or something? And I was like,
how dare you frame it like that, sir?
I was like, no, I just think that's like really crazy of you.
Good. You said that straih up? Good.
I think so. I said something like that. I was like, no, I just think that's like really like strange.
Insane behavior. Yeah.
Instead of going home, which would have been the wise thing to do, Jupes and I, you went home, and then Jupes and I went to just the bar we always go to, and there, I decided to speak to a woman in her 40s for about, that was probably actually 3 hours.
And actually, to be clear, a woman at the bar alone, wearing a fedora.
She was wearing a fedora. The bar has karaoke every Friday, and she sometimes comes alone to do karaoke, literally.
And she sang?
I think she did, but I think it was before I got there. Then she was just observing. We started talking. I don't know how, but sometimes when I'm in this mood, I kind of will talk to anyone.
Well, yeah. And you've just been burned by a married man.
Right.
I'm just
gonna make a friend now. Enough of that. And she actually told me that she thinks I'm gonna get pregnant quite soon. So
I'm not laughing because that's out of the realm of possibility. I'm laughing because this woman,
she was crazy.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Like, we started off the night, like, really vibing. She was like, yeah, I think you're gonna get pregnant. Like, you have, like, this maternal energy. Like, you are about to get pregnant. And I was like,
you have this maternal energy. You have short-term memory loss because you're having so much fun.
Yeah. I think I can take care of a baby.
Where's my baby?
How did I meet my baby?
What's my baby's favorite color?
Are we like close? My baby. And then, but as the night progressed, she like started to kind of turn on me.
What?
And like, I was telling her about my dating life. She was kind of like being mean about it. Then she kind of turned from like, yeah, you're gonna have a baby, but by the way, your energy is like really unsettling.
Oh,
she said that.
Oh my God.
She said your energy is very unsettling. She was telling me that when she met her husband, it was just like
she has a husband,
and 2 children.
But she's alone at the bar on a Friday night singing.
What's wrong with that?
My husband's gonna come watch me sing.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
If I put on my fedora and got gossied up to sing a song on a stage,
maybe he was watching the kids for her.
Oh, how old are the kids?
No, they're pretty old. They're like definitely at least teenagers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, and then it took me about 4 days to recover from that night. So that's cool.
It was a fun one though.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I went home, because when I went home, it was like the party was still jumping. I left. Well,
you left at like
the party was still
yeah.
good. It's so I am like wagging my tail all the way home. It's early enough that Vince and Hector are still just hanging out in the living room. I'm telling them my tales of, oh yeah, such a good matchmaker tonight.
Yeah.
Like, the girls are flirting. And then I woke up the next morning to a stream of text from Siege being like, well, he's married.
Good job, Molly. How was the rest of your weekend?
It was good. I then packed up a car the next day. That's part of why I packed it in early. I drove to Delaware. Drove to Delaware for my in-laws were there, and we were doing a little. Hector saw the beach for the first time.
Oh my god, did he cry? Did he go in? Did he?
He's not allowed like on the beach.
Oh, okay.
So he just kind of gazed upon it.
Yeah.
He did a really good job. I did crabs. Do you ever do crabs? Have you ever done crabs?
Sorry, I'm not sure what doing crabs is.
Yeah, so like in the Delaware, Maryland
like
area.
a crab boil?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so like I went to a place. They'll do like a tower of beer and then a bucket of crabs.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it is. It's like a nice way to spend an afternoon.
Yeah,
but so much labor for such little yield.
Yeah,
you know. And I have infected scrapes all over my hands.
Yum.
You really don't want to see what's on the inside of the crab.
Yeah.
Their lungs.
You can see their lungs when you...
Well, yeah, here's how it goes, right? You get a crab, you rip all its legs off.
Yeah.
Put those to the side. Maybe you'll address some of the big ones. Most of them, not worth the effort.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you can suck like
I was gonna
little...
say, I feel like people love a crab leg.
Well, they have to be big. These aren't like snow crabs. These are like...
Sorry, I don't know the difference.
These are king crabs. I don't either. But no, I'd say like the biggest pincher was about the size of my index finger. Okay. And about as thick, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the legs mostly aren't worth it, but your big guys, your claw guys, they can be worth the effort. Then you've got the body of the crab, right? So you flip it over. It's got like a pull tab built into its anatomy. How gross is that?
That's disgusting.
Yeah. So like you pull the pull tab, and now it makes it easier to like crack it open from top shell to bottom shell.
Yeah.
You crack that bitch open, and now you're seeing lungs.
The whole. Wow.
You're seeing innards, you're seeing dirty poop. But the lungs are the worst part because I have that thing where little holes really make
What's
my skin
called?
crawl.
I forget what it's called.
I don't know. All I know is Kendall Jenner.
Yeah. She's like afraid of sponges.
Yeah, totally. It's that. It's like little tufts of like, oh, I can't even think of it. It's like, yeah, like spear shaped sponge hole.
Okay.
Appendages. Really nasty stuff. You scrape that off, and still there's much more work to be done. Now you've got a mallet. You're using a wooden mallet.
Okay, the mallet. Okay.
Because you scrape all that shit off, and still there's more like shell intermediating every little fucking bit of the crab's innards.
Yeah.
You're fighting. You're
So this is fun for people.
And you're barely drinking your beer.
Yeah. Because
you're so focused on your crab. And if you don't stay focused, you're going to get cut up.
Right.
I did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it though.
Okay.
And then you're getting Old Bay in your cuts.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
You're getting Old Bay in your cuts. Ouch.
And lemon. Ouch.
Ouch. If you're so lucky, I didn't get a single lemon.
They didn't give you any lemon?
This is how crazy it is. We did the unlimited crab meal. They give you accessories to your crab, corn on the cob.
I was gonna say, I know there's a corn, there's potatoes too, right?
We had hush puppies instead of potatoes, and then big slabs of fried chicken because they know you're not getting anything out of those crabs.
Is like the crabs are literally just like a craft,
right? Kind of, yeah. But we did that. Hector sat under the table the whole time.
He was good?
I like crab, yeah, but
did he have any crab?
He did not.
Okay.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the biggie things we did.
That sounds lovely.
Mostly it was a lot of driving for a long weekend.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, with traffic it turned into like over 6 hours each way.
Oh my god.
But Hector did a good job in the car. He sat on my lap.
He loves a car.
Was mommy's little angel. Well, not enough. Like, he doesn't want to just, like, sit in the car and enjoy.
Yeah.
He needs to be Velcro.
Did he have to get out a lot?
No, we just did one stop each way.
That's
At a
easy.
Wawa, of course.
Hector's for Wawa.
Yeah. Hoagies.
Did you get a hoagie?
Yep. Every time we're there, we have a hoagie. In Italian. Yardley, I texted you about it.
Yeah.
Darling.
I don't know a whole lot about Yardley. I know, like, people from my sister's high school were from there.
Got it.
Like, it's a place you could be from.
Sure. And still go to.
A nice Catholic school.
Nice girls are from
Nice girls
Yardley.
go from Yardley, yeah.
What else did you do? Anything else of note?
Nothing really. Like, literally, I was recovering from
Someone poisoned you.
Yeah, from being poisoned on Friday. Pretty, like...
And a witch did something else.
Yeah, the witch, like, made me sad. I don't know. I've been reflecting on the fact that, like, 30 does, like, I don't think I can stay out till 4 a.m. anymore. Which, like, to be honest, I never really did. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing I really do.
Who are we, Aaron?
Yeah.
Kidding.
So I don't know. I'm just that really did hit me hard. But I had a birthday party for Natasha, friend of the pod.
Happy birthday, Natasha.
Happy birthday, Natasha, on Saturday, and that was really lovely. But other than that, it was quite a weekend after that.
Did you watch anything?
I did. I spent a lot of, which made me feel a little bit. Memorial Day weekend is my favorite, like, historically my favorite holiday.
What?
Yeah.
Do I know this about you?
Oh, probably not, actually.
Even now, as you're, like, getting weird about Christmas?
Actually, no, like, as an adult, my favorite holiday is probably Halloween, but Memorial Day, like, has a very special place in my heart.
Because it's the dawn of summer.
It's the dawn of summer, and it was always, like, Jupes and I grew up going to this pool, and it was, like, when the pool opened, and we were, like, really, like, insane about that. Like, we would get there when the pool opened. One year we brought signs that were, like, open the pool!
Cute. That's so cute.
So that's always, it's like, I just love this weekend. But this is, the weather this weekend is the kind that, as a child, would have really upset me.
Yeah, it was quite cold.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time indoors actually just watching stuff, including I watched the new Netflix series Sirens.
Oh, yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah,
I mean, you know I love Megan Fahy.
I was going to say, I'm like, if you hadn't been away this weekend, I was like, I feel like you'd be with me there.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. It's a little, like, stacked cast. There's, like, Megan Fahy, Kevin Bacon, the red-haired woman from 30 Rock.
Julianne
Moore, thank you.
Yeah.
And the acting, so Megan Fahy's acting was, like, I'm not even going to say that. I think, like, a writing thing I have from the first episode, I just felt like the first episode did, like, a lot of heavy lifting in terms of characterization.
Okay.
In a way that I wasn't, like, super fond of. And, like, just thinking about that going into the book a little bit. Or just, like, yeah.
Like,
where I'm like...
Do you mean, like, they were just, like, here's who I am?
A little. Like, which I know you have to have a little bit of that. A little bit of that in, like, a pilot or a first episode, but it was just a bit heavy-handed for me, where, like, the sisters find each other, so it's, like, it's two sisters, and the younger one, they're, like, from Buffalo, not a nice, like, they're, like,
Not
a little
nice girls
rough.
from Yardley.
Yeah, they're kind of rough girls. The older one is, like, the rougher one, for sure. And the younger one has since, like, moved out of Buffalo, and she's now a personal assistant to this billionaire's wife on, Rhode Island.
Nice.
On Rhode Island. And she's become very, like, Lily Pulitzer.
Okay.
And the older sister is, like, kind of a fuck up, and their dad is, like, has dementia. Aww. And she's like, why won't you help me with Dad?
Yeah.
And the sister's like, I have forgotten Buffalo. So then Megan Fahy...
Does she have dementia too?
Yes, very early on.
She's having too much fun.
Yeah, she's having way too much fun. So Megan Fahy, like, goes to find her and confront her about all of this.
Okay.
And then she starts to think that, like, the younger sister's in a cult on this island. And so she makes it her mission to, like, break her out.
Interesting.
But in the first episode, there was a lot of, like, Megan Fahy being like, what happened to your tattoos? Where's our matching sister tattoo? I was like, no, like, we get it.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You're, like, you're tough. We
You're
can see all of your fake
guy.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
And then there was she's also dating, the younger sister is like quietly or secretly dating some guy from It's Always Sunny. I don't know what his real name is.
One of the old men from As an aside, and this is said with love, and I think it's always kind of like punching down or like below the belt to comment on people's appearances. Every cast member of It's Always Sunny has like, I saw a good TikTok this week that was like, you can grow old or you can look old or you can look weird.
Yeah.
You can't look young again. You were already young. That time has passed. So you'll look old or you'll look weird. And if you look weird, we still know you're old.
Yeah.
That's the It's Always Sunny cast to me. They all chose to look weird instead of old.
Oh, well, I definitely think that of the one guy with, like, crazy veneers, Rob McElhenney.
And unfortunately his wife, Caitlin Olsen, kind of did the same thing.
Yes.
But, no, Glenn Howerton, same deal. Someone who looks normal as Charlie. Okay. Charlie Dye.
Glenn Howerton is the one that's in...
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely looks old.
But also weird. He's had a lot of work done.
I'll have to take a closer look, but I believe you.
It's especially because they're, like marquee IP is, like, them being, like, you know, gritty Philly people. And it's like, you guys have all poured so many hundreds of thousands into your faces.
Yeah.
It's getting a little implausible.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And he plays this very, like, yuppie, preppy dude in this, and it's all he's very unappealing in the show.
Great.
But they're, like, in bed one morning. It's in the first episode. They're in bed, and he's like, she's like, come back to bed. And she's like, no. And then he's like, I think we're gonna, she's like, the summer's ending anyway. Like, this is over. Like, we're almost done. We're on a clock, whatever. And then she's like, it's time to get up. And she's like, okay, bye, my love. And she goes, I didn't mean to say that.
That's crazy.
I thought that was crazy.
Yeah,
I thought,
crazy.
like, I get the, like, trope of, like, or the plot device of saying, like, I love you by mistake, but I thought my love
is nutty.
Is crazy.
No, yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You, in a previous episode, as, like, a foil to this, you said, like, really good writing is love ya, like, as that kind of empty.
Yeah.
My love is not, and maybe this is intentional too, where it's like she doesn't actually feel love for this person, or she's performing that slip as a way to maybe trap him. I don't know, but like, my love is not
That's
something
actually
you'd
a good
ever.
point. It might be. I'd like your take once you watch it.
Okay.
But it's definitely meant to, in the moment, be like, oh, I didn't mean to say I love you.
Nobody talks like that.
My love is something I say, again, like in a similar vein to a dog. I'm like, hello, my love.
Okay, but another thing, and again, I've not seen the show, so like, maybe I'm giving this like all way too much credence. But, have you read Cultish?
No.
I have only started it. It's Kindle Unlimited, so it sits in my library. But sometimes I pick it up on a train, plane, automobile.
Yeah.
I've read maybe 20% of it, but it really belabors the point so far that like cults are mostly like defined by and advanced by language. Like, it is just word
marketing
choice at the end of the day. Yeah, and like, especially having like in speak or coded kinds of language that show your part of it versus on the outside of it. Names are a big thing in cults too, like getting your special name and now you'll be known by that name. But it sounds like this show kind of centers on cult stuff, and like, if for example the cult leaders or like the language of this social group is like, oh my love, like very like that kind of like flowery but empty kind of language, maybe it's her, more so her reflecting that she is.
Well, there is the Julianne Moore always, when she's like starting off the sessions, I don't even know, with like the group, she always goes, hey, and that does become like a so interesting that you mentioned that. Yeah,
I used to say that a lot.
Hey girls, hey
Join
girls.
The cult of Luann de Lesseps. Hey ladies, a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
And you're wearing a fedora.
I'm alone at karaoke. I'm 40. I've got a husband and 2 kids, but I just had to burn off some steam. I want to watch it still. Did you crush the whole...
I crushed the whole thing. I did really enjoy it. It's a good, like, summer light.
I love the beach setting.
Yeah. Beachy. There were parts that did make me laugh, and I thought the ending was interesting. Like,
satisfying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did find the ending satisfying.
Okay.
And, like, I didn't totally, expect it, but I did kind of, like... It was what you'd kind of want. How it ended the way, like, in the right way. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So, and I think it does kind of set it up for season 2, perhaps, so we'll see.
Okay.
But I thought that the cast of supporting characters was, like, the best part. There's, like, a whole, like, grounds crew at the mansion, the compound, that, like, hates the personal assistant, which is, like, very funny.
Love that.
And, yeah, there's, like, a lot of side characters where that stuff, like, was very funny to me.
And we talked about how in the 2 Emily Henry books we like best, it's, like, largely driven by really rich and robust full cast.
Yeah, it's like a good way to world build. We may have said that last week.
No, I don't know if we did. That is so real.
Yeah.
Like in contemporary romances, that is your world building.
Yeah.
You're like a little guy here and there.
Yeah, you're Santa who winks.
Kind of like a dragon, though.
Yeah, it's either dragons or,
Which actually brings me to what I need to talk about. Is that okay?
Yes, please, I'm done.
I read another romantasy this week, and I finished it, but I finished it out of spite.
Oh, okay.
And whoops, Molly read another YA novel on accident.
So how long did it take you to realize that you were reading YA?
After I finished, and when I opened Goodreads.
Oh no.
I was like, that was for babies. In fact, it was. Like, I'm reading it like, this sucks. Because maybe it was made for 4th grade. I don't know. But then I have all kinds of questions around the actual, like, intended age of the audience. Because, okay, so the book is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross.
Wait, by who?
Rebecca Ross.
Okay, I thought you said Yaros. I was like, she's at it again.
No, Rebecca Ross.
You had mentioned that you were going to read this, I think.
Yeah. It's apparently got 2 books, and I think the second might wrap up the whole thing. She was like, I gotta get out of this. I don't know. And that's how I felt while I was reading the first. I was like, this author does not know where she's steering the ship. The ship is going too fast, too.
Oh, God.
Generally, like, the premise was kind of like, it felt like it was, like, riffing on World War I kind of motifs.
What a choice. Okay.
Totally. And then there was also this added element of, like, the gods being part of it. So there's, like, magic kind of running throughout, but it's inconsistent magic because the gods have mostly been vanquished, but they're these 2 gods who, like, have kind of come back from being vanquished and are now warring with each other, but using mortals to, like, as their ammo, as their weaponry. So these mortals are being, like, called to fight for one god or compelled to fight for one god or the other, and that kind of constitutes, like, the World War I side. I don't really know, but it's World War I, like, general vibes. So it's like trench warfare.
Franz Ferdinand.
Of course, you got your arch too. It's like trench warfare, and then here's what I find truly unforgivable, and I don't think it's even, like, necessarily bad writing. I think it's just writing that is, like, so not my fucking bag.
Yeah.
The dialogue is like, well, what do you think, huh? You do me a dishonor by saying that.
Oh. Like to Mid-Atlantic, or... Like Mary Poppins-esque? Like...
Very, like, old-timey, but, like, from a person who probably didn't do the research to understand what, like, realistic old-timey speak was. The other thing is the romance is between 2 young people who are each journalists, but, like, writers by craft. And we get some epistolary in there.
Ooh.
This is a spoiler. I hope none of you read it, so I will spoil it.
Yeah.
They actually come together. They each have a magic typewriter.
So that didn't tip you off for the whole baby thing?
That's the other thing. Like,
they each have a magic VTech. Leapfrog.
They each have a magic typewriter, and when they write letters and then put them in the closet, that's the other half of the magic, it'll end up in each other's closet.
Okay, Dragon Tales.
completely. So then I have to read a lot of their letters to one another, and like the whole fucking premise is that they're both really good writers. And
I do like that.
No, but then they're not.
Oh, that's okay. All right.
It's like sometimes I think I'm truly unknowable. And being known to another is to remove a chink from your armor and to offer it up, and it's like, Shay, are you guys done?
Can we wrap it up here?
And it's really
grating.
self-indulgent.
Yeah.
And but then you're like having a hard time even like calibrating your judgment of the writing, because it's also meant to be like old-timey.
Right.
And I'm like, these people like suck ass and talk in ways that are really annoying, but then I'm like, is she trying to like world build for a place in time where this is actually like...
Yeah. How someone might speak.
Yeah, but it was really annoying. Really awful stuff. And then it also made it hard to like believe that they were falling in love, because I'm like, you guys are just really annoying. Like,
yeah. Well, sometimes two annoying people find each other, which is...
Yes. But then indexed to both this like old-timey kind of vibe she was doing, and I assume the intended age
young
range
audience
of her readers.
Yeah.
I think it was very like, I guess in the end it was very like, I dropped a glove kind of flirting. So I'm like, I think there's stuff I missed as like stuff that advanced the romance of it all, because I'm like,
you're like, whatever, she dropped the glove.
Right. I'm like, it's war, of course she dropped the glove.
Get a new glove, bitch.
And meanwhile, that's like the most loaded thing that happens.
Oh, snooze.
Yeah, so apparently by like, page 300, they're like madly in love with each other. They've not, like, they barely just figured out that they were each on the other side of the typewriter.
Wait, what?
They know each other in real life, and then they know each other from their magic typewriters. It was a little bit like a You've Got Mail.
And it's a little bit like the book that you talked about. Maybe it was last week, the epistolary romance you talked about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, apparently this is like
a motif or a trope.
Yeah. Subgenre. Unknown.
A literary device.
Yeah, so then they, whatever. So you do get a sex scene.
What?
But it's virgins. And it's like... it's like...
Hey, are you sure this is YA?
And they have to get married first.
Ew, sorry, no offense.
Literally on the precipice of war. We know that Dakra's soldiers are marching in the morning onto this town, and they're like, we'll just get married in the garden. And then these perverts around them are like, go to the bedroom. And they're like, we couldn't indulge that. This is wartime. And they're like, no, go to the bedroom. They're like, we sure would like to know each other's bodies. And then they go to the bedroom, and it's like a very chaste. It's not like a full ... but it is very like and then there was pain, and then there was so much pleasure. And it's like, okay, no.
Okay, White House's by Vanessa Carlton.
No, that is good writing. That lyricism is good.
I agree. So this is kind of reminding me of two things. One, the not so ... This is when I accidentally picked a YA book for book club.
And like, is that the rule of YA? Like, you're allowed to talk about sex but not talk about it?
I kind of think maybe.
Okay.
Which feels like an unwritten rule, but like, I think if you write in a sex scene in like a book for kids, like, you're kind of a pervert. Yeah.
You're jail, yeah.
You're like totally a pervert.
But then I'm like, don't even talk about it, maybe.
Then just like,
but then that neglects, I don't know.
Well, it kind of sounds like this woman who wrote this wanted to like moralize, like,
it felt
be like,
you must get married first.
Yeah, like, it sounds like she has like maybe some like religious or
maybe
the weird messaging she wanted to sneak in there.
I don't know if she was like trying to ground in like a time where a woman's virtue was predicated on getting married. I don't know, but like that's the other thing. At her world building was like, I know I said the boat was going too fast. The boat was the steering wheel pop off. It had 4 motors. It was crazy.
It was not seafaring.
No, I'm just like, brother, I don't understand. This is a book for babies, and I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't really get the magic. I don't get the war. I'm 30, and I'm reading a book for babies. If you're not getting it, and I don't get it.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I mean, like, trying to write just a normal book without magic, like, it's hard to get all the logistics right.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So I totally get that, but yeah, maybe scale down your...
something.
Yeah.
And then I did go to Goodreads because I was like, what's the and everyone was like, oh yeah, no, it's for teenagers, or like earlier.
I really love that.
But then like I was looking for reviews that were like, hey, this didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? But it has like a 4.2 or something.
Well, we returned to my thesis that people on Goodreads are stupid.
Yeah.
So...
And a lot of the reviews were like, and then I Googled the second book in the series. I can't read it. I just won't waste my time that way. But a lot of people were like, oh no, it gets worse. Like, it gets just so much more confusing.
Well, yeah, if you're starting on A House Built on Sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My apologies to Rebecca Ross, but...
This is also kind of reminding me of your complaint about Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yeah.
Or like, don't...
She just published a new book, or she is publishing a new book this summer. Yeah.
Interesting. But like when you were saying that, like, including the song lyrics if you're not or including the poetry if you're not good at it's spit everywhere. It feels like this author's doing a similar thing of like, if I put it in an old-timey accent, no one will be able to tell that the writing is bad.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. And that is meant to be a lot of what, like, drives these two characters to one another. It's like they are so enamored with the other's writing. They are so enamored with the depth of each other's thinking and the clarity of its expression. And I'm like, I have some notes, actually. Because...
I'm lost.
Actually, well, I don't know if it's that I'm not in the 1910s.
I thought you were going to say in the 10s, like you're not 10.
Yeah, you've got like a 12-year-old like, this makes sense.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah. No, I like Percy Jackson way better than I like Divine Rivals.
That's interesting, yeah. I mean... I think I think we all have to take all Book Talk and Goodreads highly recommended with like a huge grain of salt.
That I did get this from Book Talk.
Unfortunately, Book Talk is usually wrong.
Yeah, this one was hey, are you having a hard time getting over Fourth Wing? Yes, targeted. You found your audience. Read Divine Rivals. Actually,
ew.
Now we'll never. And now I'm like, I can't. Maybe I don't like romantasy as much as I thought I did.
No, I think you do. I think like. Fourth Wing is like a really good romantasy, and you maybe just started with like the hardest drug that you can do, and like there's just not a lot else out there. You really should try ACOTAR.
I should.
I don't know why are you not doing that?
So many of you have said it's like actively bad.
But did I read every book? Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
And like, I'm not a huge. I liked Fourth Wing a lot. I didn't like love it. Right. I read all of the ACOTAR books. Okay. And I will say you're gonna have a hard time with the first one. You're gonna have a hard time with the first one, but the second one.
If I got through Divine Rivals, I can do it.
Yeah, and the first one, like, there's enough. Like, I think you like the world building magic shit, so like. There's like enough of that will draw you in, and it is. She does a good job of like building the world, and like. I think, and, like, I find the main character really grating, but, like, she is a compelling character. And cool. I find her, I won't belabor it, but her sister's way more interesting, and you get there eventually, too.
Right, cool.
So.
Okay, cool.
I implore you.
Well, have you read anything recently?
No, I'm still kind of trekking on beach reads. I'm not really ready. I'm sorry, I'm not ready to give my full. I'm like 50% of the way through my reread. But I am just like I'm in the fun and games reading part right now, and I'm so enamored with them. I'm just like I was like, I've read the smut 1,000 times, but I had to skip ahead to the smut. And I was reading because I was like, I just love these two together so much. They're so interesting. And it's also, what's fun about reading this book is that the two characters are writing books in the book. And I'm like, they're saying things that like I relate to, which is fun. Yeah. No, but that's what I'm reading. And
did you have other media you wanted to talk about?
I actually crushed another series this weekend.
What?
Which is Stolen Girl on Hulu.
Oh, save it.
Would you believe in the show a girl gets stolen?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like that joke? It's like a scripted. It's scripted. It's in England, and a mom lets her daughter sleep over at another person's house. She's like just met this mom, and she basically is like, "Yeah, sure, you can sleep over at her house." And the girl the other mom steals the girl.
Is there another child or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it's like becomes like things from the mom's past. That's why this other mom has stolen the daughter.
Oh.
So yeah, I crushed it. And
Is it based on a true story?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
But I love that where it's like, ooh, like she did something.
Intrigue.
And the one thing I don't like about, I was thinking about some of our earlier conversations. One thing I don't like about, like, this showed both the mom whose daughter got stolen, and then the woman who stole the stolen girl. We see both sides throughout the series. So, like, the whole time we know what's going on, basically, which I don't really like when, like, the mom is trying to find her daughter, and it's like, I know where she is.
I actually like that. That does make it more palatable for me.
I don't. I'm like, I want to figure it out. I want to get some clues where I'm like, she's in France.
That's where she gets disappeared to?
Yeah, and honestly, the mom who steals her, like, is so stupid about it. Like, she was not ready. Like, get your fake passport before you steal the girl.
Right, totally.
And it was all, the whole thing was that, like, this woman's, she had an affair. The real mom had an affair. It's a whole thing, but they got into a car accident, and they accidentally killed this woman's husband and one of her daughters, not the other daughter, so she stole this girl because...
Now to have a full set.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she intended to keep the stolen girl.
Oh, yeah.
And treat her nice.
Oh, yeah.
But treat her like
we took her to France.
Cool, okay.
Yeah. But then with the help of a journalist, the real mom figures it out, and she finds her, and it's all good. But then she gets arrested for having killed the...
Oh.
It ends with her going to jail.
For vehicular manslaughter?
Yeah. And the stealer getting away.
With scot-free?
With her original daughter. An incomplete
Is she in France?
I don't really know where she ends up, but she's like, they don't catch her. And like, the other mom, like, lets her go, because it's, like, very sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who does the stolen girl then report to?
So, her dad, I guess? But then also...
There's been a dad the whole time.
There's a dad, yeah. But also, they have a son, and the son is from the affair. So
does the dad know?
He finds out in the end, but then he's just taking care of the son, too,
His
because...
bastard son?
Yeah, because the vehicular manslaughter... The guy she was having an affair with took the fall for it initially.
He was the dad in the other family?
No. Sorry. So the mom has what is a mistress but a man? A mister?
The mom has a mister.
She has a mister. The mister took the fall for the vehicular manslaughter, and he was the actual father of their second kid.
And he's in jail for that?
Yeah. So now he and lady are in jail.
And she's like, I wasn't even on the scene because I'm not.
They like lied. But she was fully driving. She was pregnant with the son when she...
Wow.
Yeah. Also, separately, she killed her father.
On purpose?
No. She pushed him down the stairs, but it was because she was so angry because he sexually abused her as a child.
Oh.
She grew up in a cult, also.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This is all very upsetting.
Yep. Crush it this weekend.
Good. Good.
So yeah, that was my Memorial Day weekend.
That was so upsetting. The only other thing I consumed was the finale of Survivor.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be light. I'll touch on it quite lightly, but here's where I fall on Survivor, and I think it actually does fuel how I think about like developing plot, or compelling stories generally. This was a season of Survivor that felt like old Survivor, where like it was a strong alliance that persisted for most of the post-merge game. It was people playing with, like, a specific definition of integrity.
Okay.
Like, I will give you my word, and I'll stand by my word, I will reward loyalty over all else. Like, that kind of gameplay also relies on being, like, a challenge beast. You, like, have to be physically successful, otherwise, like, you will be at risk at some times.
Oh.
But, because, like, the alliance persists because they keep winning.
Yeah.
It's really not compelling television for me. That's not why I watch reality shows ever.
Okay.
I'm like, oh yeah, your integrity. Like, I know we joke on the pod where I'm like, I can't handle conflict. Like, why can't everyone just say they like each other and then live happily ever after? No, I want tomfoolery. I want fun and games.
Yeah, you want drama. You want like
subterfuge. I want drama.
Yeah, you want people to like say shit.
I want messy divas.
Yeah.
I want, and this season was light on that. And I think this kind of does divide Survivor viewers into two camps. Like, and Jeff Probst, the host and executive producer of Survivor, is in the wrong camp.
Okay.
He has himself said in a bunch of interviews after this season that, like, he thinks this is one of the very best. Most Survivor hardos that I follow on Twitter
Okay.
are like, this season was ass. Like, I'm just over it. Yeah, because it's like, it lacks that, like, second layer of strategic nuance and, like, interpersonal mess.
Yeah.
That is the game. The game is about, like, relationships at its core, because you either go about, like, getting through the game, or then you turn to a jury and you have to sell yourself as the winner to the jury who ultimately decides it. Like, it's a game of relationships, which are intrinsically so much more complicated than the, like, black and white game Jeff Probst wishes he could play God with. God,
I hate men.
I know. I think he thinks he's God, and he likes seasons that make him look like God.
Oh, that's like not. Yeah, that's not fun.
It's not fun.
Yeah, that's like. This is like a larger. I feel like the best leaders are people who don't center themselves in the project, or like, which is, and it's like, so I think that's a very difficult thing to do, to be frank. But, like, I think if you really want to be good, you have to... You're master of ceremonies, but you're not...
Totally.
You're not, like... Nobody's watching for you, Jeff.
We have talked about her before in a very similar capacity. Emma Stone.
Yeah.
The projects she greenlights, she funds, she even takes on... Like, she is there to facilitate story.
Yeah. Yes,
good
she
story.
is. It's a great example. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Probst, not so much.
And I think that's because his whole life is Survivor, that he probably is like, you guys are in it for me, right?
Yeah. Tonight I'll keep wearing my tiny little khakis for you. And they are tight. He's still like, he wears.
And he keeps it tight. What can we say?
It is so good. Like, if you actually look at his outfits, you're like, wait, what? He wears skinny jean khaki Bermudas.
I cannot visualize that.
No, like, put those three phrases
skinny
together.
jeans, Bermuda short khaki. So it's a tight-fitted Bermuda short.
It's like painted on Warped Tour. It is that level of skinny pant.
Okay.
It hits
but a short
just above the knee. It kisses the calf. Okay. And it's typically a dark khaki.
Gross.
Can you even believe it?
No, I really can't. In that humidity? Oh my god. You know his ass is grass.
I know his grundle is
cooked.
Is well done.
Ew.
Yeah. And then he wears like blouses.
In my mind, I know this isn't what he looks like, but I'm visualizing Ty Pennington.
No, but that is...
They could be cousins.
The spirit is true, yeah. You've like nailed the spirit of Jeff Probst, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should probably talk about our
The project, yes.
Project. How's it going?
So, I think the last time we really checked in about the project, I was saying that, like, I needed to do foundational work, which was, like, returning to the outline, and then I promptly, like, didn't do that for 3 weeks.
Totally.
I was busy.
A girl was missing.
Yeah, I had to find the stolen girl. So, this weekend, that was also a lot of what I did this weekend, is kind of, like, did the reno on my outline.
Yeah.
Took a hammer to that. And I think I'm in a much better place now. I think I'm, like, ready to go back into writing. Because, like, that was, like, I stopped writing because I was, like, I need to return to the outline. Because, like, anything I do now is based on something I don't think is good. So, I really focused, I think I mentioned this, on the fun and games. I decided, okay, also, the other thing was, I wasn't, like, really... sold on my premise, I think,
Okay.
was part of the issue. I was like, oh, I'm seeing, like, issues with my premise, but I think I really just needed to, like, hammer out the details of my premise. So I, like, got that a little more clear. I know what the actual show they're going to be making. It kind of is more, I know why he's there now, which is huge.
Okay.
I changed the details of the team a little bit. And, like, the why they're there a little bit.
Okay.
Won't say. I won't reveal. But I think it makes more sense for the plot.
Okay.
And then once I had all of those things, I could really drill into the fun and games. And I outlined, like, 6 fun and games that I feel good about. And, like, I put where they're gonna kiss in the fun and games. And I literally got, like, excited. Because I, like, can see it happening.
Yeah.
And I know, like... we also talked about, like, I don't need to explain all of the baseball players and, like,
Right.
they're rigmarole of a baseball season, but I would have, like, a general big games, I guess,
Right.
if you will,
Right.
that are going to be, and, like, the games are not going to be central to the book, but
They're
it's
just
like
forcing functions.
yeah,
for
there's going to
different
be
plot
things
moments.
they do at the games,
Yes. Yeah.
surrounding the games. I have, like, the ending, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I foresee stuff changing for sure because, like, things changed the last time too. So, but I think I have, like, what's gonna force them together and what's gonna force them apart, and what's gonna bring them back together again.
Okay.
And I think I have her trauma figured out.
Okay. Was stolen and transported to France.
Yes. I think I've got her figured out. It's pretty similar to what I had in the beginning. Haven't really figured out. I figured out, like, why he's there. But I think there's gonna have to be more to that I just haven't really explored yet. I think something I'm realizing is I want a female character who's, like, not so good.
Right. Okay.
Like, even in the ending, I think you're a little bit like, wow, she kind of sucks for that.
Okay.
Which I kind of like when a book or movie is, like, she makes choices that I think a lot of people, like, relate to, but that are nasty.
Yeah, I so agree.
So that's kind of where I'm going with my ending.
Let's go.
Sorry, I feel like I'm spoiling things.
No. I think that's a perfect level of detail to share.
Because I think, and I really want, like, the two characters to be so similar. I think that's something that we don't get a ton of in books, is, like, two characters who are really, really similar, and, like, that is, like,
book lovers.
Yeah, is, like,
That's
an
why I
issue
like it
for
so
them.
much. Yeah.
But ultimately, like, they respect each other for their...
Yeah.
So I think there's gonna be a little bit of that too. Like, I think I like, because I've been struggling with this idea of, like, how do you make reality TV not evil, and I'm like kind of just gonna lean into it. I think where, like, sometimes reality TV is evil,
Yeah,
and sometimes this woman makes evil choices
because women can be bitches too. Okay,
yeah, and I think that's okay, and, like, that's what
I'd
I'm
rather
kind
read
of
about a bitch.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be complicated to land that plane.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's complicated to be a woman.
right, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think she's going to be kind of... Because I really think that's something that's missing from romances.
Totally.
Like, the woman is always good, and the man is also always good, which is great. But, like, maybe I want a little bit more. Maybe I want... Because I've been thinking a lot about... Sorry, I'm, like, everywhere.
No.
Like, one of my favorite movies, weirdly, I think this is, like, an unusual choice, but one of my favorite movies is Trainwreck. And
That is an unusual choice.
Yeah, it's not maybe one of my favorite movies, but I think it's a very well-done romance.
Yeah, the romance of Trainwreck is very compelling to me.
And I like that she's kind of like... Say what you want about Amy Schumer, she's complicated.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good movie.
She's had some great projects.
Yeah, I really like that character, that she's, like, messy and, like, imperfect, and, like, I think we kind of need more of that in books. So I don't really know if that's gonna translate to page. We'll see.
No, this is really helpful and freeing. Like, I've worried privately that, like, the trajectory of my main character would be from, like, bad woman to good woman, and I really don't want it to read that way.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, maybe we don't have to make her, because no one is entirely good or bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, having them figure out something means they're making some kind of progress.
Compromise. Yeah.
Which is okay, but, like, that doesn't mean she has to be then, like, what, a good girl from Yardley? I don't think so.
No, she could be a bad girl from, where do we...
Buffalo.
From Buffalo. She could be a bad girl from Buffalo.
Yeah. You are actually giving me a lot of anxiety, though.
No, I
Because-
still feel so bad. I want to just put a cherry on this by saying, like, I'm having a really hard time.
It is hard.
It's really hard. Last night, like, I spent, like, an hour working on this before bed last night, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to bed. And then I, like, woke up in the middle of the night, like, stressed, where I was like,
Sorry.
No, it's fine, but I'm, like, I also meant to write this down last night. I feel like the fig tree, the Sylvia Plath fig tree, where I'm like, there's all these different directions the book could go in, and what if I don't pick the right one, and, like, I have to pick one now, lest I rewrite this book 4 times, but maybe that's also just part of it, I don't know.
And that's actually where you're giving me a ton of anxiety. Because I have I did the initial outlining exercise too, but I had a lot more concrete detail in the first half of my 15 steps.
Yeah.
And then the back half, I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I've got some, like, generalized ideas, but you're being a plotter, and you're a real bitch for that.
But you should see my outline, because you'll still be like, I don't know about all this.
I'm pantsing, and here's the danger. I'm feeling good.
Good.
I'm, like, having a good time pantsing. It's not, like...
You just turn the knife around.
No. No, because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to reach the midpoint and be like, I have to rewrite everything.
No,
because I
you're
don't know how to
not.
land the plane.
I think it's a really good sign if it's working well.
No, I'm just, like, having fun writing. And, like, here's another kind of concern I have. So, like... I don't know. We've now at this point said that how it's really hard to not just, like, go back and edit and edit and edit. And I do feel like I've actually, like, wrought my first 10 pages into something, like, just too heavy-handed edited at this point. I don't know. But it's all that initial setup where, like, this character is, like, unhappy in many ways that she'll have to, like, foundationally address to reach the end of the novel. And then you get into, like, more fun stuff. You get, like, more of that larger cast of characters. You have her meet the love interest. You have her meet, in my case, I'm having her, like, reconnect with her best friend. Like, and then you get more and more of her. And part of what has been like, a choice I made that maybe I'll revisit, who knows. But, like, she's really corporate at first and, like, you know, has all these, like, ideals around, like, what success would look like for her. Then it, like, also I want to make it really clear that, like, lifestyle isn't serving her. Like, she's not, like, happy.
Yes.
She's not herself with the people she spends all her time with or in the roles she takes on. So then as we see her meet the love interest, or we see her talk to her, like, reconnect with her best friend, or, like, even engage with the world, like, with more people who make her herself, like, she's funny again.
Yeah.
Or, like, she's a much more vibrant character to me on page when I have her, like, engaging with these people, with, like, investing in the relationships that, like, ultimately energize her. But then it also means that my first 10 pages are, like, here's where I'm, like, actually hung up. I saw on TikTok there are those, like, I don't know if they're, like, conferences or just, like, I don't know what they are, but it's, like, a 10 pages read thing.
I don't
know. This girl, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But this girl was like, yeah, it's, like, the first time I've done this, but she made it seem like it's, like, a thing. You print out the first 10 pages of your book and you submit it, and there's a panel of, like, agents, I guess, and they're all sitting there, and then there's someone who's reading through these 10 pages, and they're allowed to raise their hand while you're reading. The agents, who are, like, judge and jury, they can raise their hand while the person is reading, and it's all anonymized, your name's not attached to it. But if everyone on the panel, let's say there are 3 of them, raises their hand, they stop right there. You don't get through the 10 pages, and then, like, they can give you notes, but, like, you move on. Basically, it's them saying, like, there's no there there.
It's the opposite of the voice.
Yeah. And so then I was like, okay, well, that actually feels pretty realistic to, like, what the shot that different people, whether it's an editor, an agent, whatever, would give a reader.
Yeah.
It's 10 pages. And I'm like, well, are my first 10 pages, like, not representative of who this person is?
I think you're thinking too much about the first 10 pages, but I think that's, like, something that you can, like, fix later. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are ways that you can make it clear that she's not, like, where she's supposed to be, but there's, like, glimmers of this person that she is below.
Yeah.
In those 10 pages, perhaps.
Yeah. And I think this is the hazard of being a pantser. It's, like, writing into her and, like, feeling so much better about who she is in certain relational dynamics, or, like, in later kind of incident. I'm like, oh, but that's the girl that needs to show up.
Yeah.
And the pantser is going to have to do a lot of rewriting, but whatevs.
But that's okay. I mean, I think rewriting is going to be part of the process. Like, that, I do think rewriting is inevitable. Like, there are scenes we're going to have to rewrite. There's, like, plot things we're going to have to rewrite. Yeah. That's part of it, I think.
The other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the craft of it all is where you're doing your writing. You're doing a lot of it at your desk, right?
Yeah. That's what I try to do, but I will be honest, like, I do my best writing in bed.
Yeah, right.
But, like, for most of the book, I have been writing at my desk, which is interesting.
I will say, being at beach writing, I was like, okay,
ooh,
like, this is kind of fun. I think the beach is where, like, I became a romance reader, honestly, like, as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, Sarah Dessen at the beach. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I yearned. I would, like, go for walks on the beach by myself, like,
if only
romance would step into my path.
If only a boy who, like, lives here year round and sort of is, you know,
could sort of look past my acne and my braces. Yeah, no. The beach is intrinsically romantic to me, so that was kind of a fun backdrop. But then, here's what I'll say. Returning to this city, it's like, this is the most romantic place on earth. Like, literally drove back here, was walking to record with you. Yeah. The city in the summer, I'm like, what could be more romantic? I actually think I'm going to be, like, have, like, ambient energy in the summer in the city to write this book.
Oh, yay!
Because,
I love that.
Like, how can you not?
Yeah.
The city screams romance at you.
It does. Yeah. I think I did do one day of writing at a coffee shop that was actually very productive.
We should do that more.
Yeah. Or, like, yeah, just even, like, right outside sometimes. I thought about doing that, going to the parks and writing today, but it was too nice out. I was like, I can't.
I know. That's the thing.
Yeah, but if I'm cooped up in my apartment all summer, I won't like that writing. So I'm going to have to mix it up.
We can go to little cafe tables.
Yes. I would love to go to a bar sometime. And,
totally.
And write, you know. We'll see. If you're into that.
Who's that girl? Yeah, that can be. You can kill multiple birds.
Yeah, you can riz me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That girl over there, she's writing a novel.
It's going really badly.
She's working on a spicy scene. Maybe you could.
Maybe you could give her some inspo. Okay, so we just offline. We are going to, for our next episode, do another exercise, because I think that helps us.
It does. It helps a lot.
Yeah. We're gonna come to the table with your favorite pieces of dialogue from anything, book, movie.
Because it really is. It's the romances I like, the backbone is dialogue.
Yeah. And just, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we'll, like, bring examples we like from media.
Yeah.
And then we will also probably address some of, like, the writing stuff we're grappling with specific to dialogue.
Yeah.
Because
that sounds good. Well, it's time to get out of here. What is the most romantic thing that's happened to you this week?
I need to ask you first, because I don't have one.
Go for it.
Well, time to get out of here. What's the most romantic thing that happened to you this week?
Okay, so mine, I was actually struggling. I was literally thinking about it all day, which is, like, scary when you can't find anything romantic in your life. But I happened upon one on my way here that, like, was perfect. I saw two people on a date outside of a bar, and they were, like, sitting at this little two-top, each reading their separate books and having, like, a martini. And I thought that was, like, the antithesis to your, like, man reading a book alone at a bar. It was, like, two people intentionally going to a bar to read together. That actually is, like, so beautiful to me and my idea of a perfect relationship. So
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I do love that.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Makes me, I want to see that with you.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, that's great. I think I've got one now.
Okay. What's the most romantic thing that happened to you this week?
Mine might be a cheat because it will happen to me next week.
Ooh.
But it's the planning that has really touched me.
Okay.
I am going to be in Wisconsin for a bachelorette weekend.
Very exciting.
Bride Corinne, shout out. Next weekend, and it's weird, like, being in Wisconsin and not seeing my parents.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes that's the case. And this like, flying to Milwaukee, then drive up north, and then drive back, and it's all very, like, slim margin for error.
Yeah.
But I told my parents, like, yeah, I'll be in Wisconsin this weekend. I probably won't see you, though. I do have some time. I think my flight isn't until, like, 5 on Sunday night, but, you know, we'll be driving back from up north, so I'll probably only have, like, an hour or two in Milwaukee of, like, downtime before I have to go to my flight. And they're like, oh, we'll drive and we'll meet you for lunch. Like, and they, like, immediately made this whole plan. They're gonna, and, you know, they live, like, 45 minutes outside Milwaukee, so
That's
they're gonna drive in.
so sweet.
And my dad was darling. He's like, we'll go to Harbor House, which is, like, a really nice restaurant in Milwaukee.
Oh my God, your parents love you
water.
so much.
Yeah, it's a big effort. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
For the, like, few hours I have in between travel.
That's really sweet. I love that.
Yeah, it's cute. I'm really excited.
Mm.
Yeah.
Love them.
Romance.
My
Love
parents
that.
would literally never. Just side note. They'd be like, driving to the city. What?
It's windy.
Well, I was referencing a time when I asked to borrow the car to, like, go pick something up, and my mom was like, it's just, like, really windy. So
Maybe you should bring your dad with you and he should drive because it's, like, really windy.
She literally said, maybe Dad could go, but, like, you go with him. It's really windy.
Fair point.
Love her. Love her crazy ass. Okay. That's it.